sisters are saying that a trans woman gets aroused in the sorority house in which this person actually doesn't live there. Um, Crazy. It's crazy. I think we've just gone too far. Um, and to appease everyone, we've had to turn a blind eye to the most ridiculous things. I think that diversity, inclusion, and equality is important, but we also have to make sure that the lines aren't blurred between absurdity and tolerance. We've tolerated up to this point, and now we have to step backwards. But let's look at this article and see what it has to say. It says a group of sorority sisters have filed a lawsuit against their college after a trans woman was granted permission to move into their sorority house. 7 members of the Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority at the University of Wyoming have called on a judge to declare the membership of a 21-year-old Artemis Langford void and to award unspecified damages, according to a lawsuit obtained by Cowboy State Daily. So this person, Artemis Langford, is really arousing himself around a group of girls, and they're like, they obviously feel so uncomfortable that they're this matter up to the school. It says one of the members have asked the sorority management to ensure the house is preserved as a female-only safe space, and the number of members raised concerns of shared bathroom facilities which have no locks. And that is the person in question, Artemis. And it says that Artemis doesn't currently live in the house, but has been granted permission to move in from September. This is according to Facebook. The lawsuit states an adult human male does not become a woman just because he tells others that he has female gender identity and behaves in what he believes is a stereotypically female manner. Miss Langford, who is 6'2", does not currently live in the house, but according to the residents, has spent a significant amount of time there and has been granted permission to move in September. So obviously they're raising concern. They don't want Artemis moving in. It makes them feel uncomfortable. Obviously, it goes beyond their safe space, their boundaries, because they feel like this person identifies as a male. And the way that he's portraying it is in a way that takes advantage of others in certain situations. In this situation, obviously, it could be said that he's a man just portraying to be a woman to be allowed into these places so he can do some things or look or whatever. But that is a major concern with a lot of people in society today. Let's just be real here. It does make people uncomfortable. It does make women uncomfortable when you have a 6'2" man who has makeup on and acts like a woman, but to them, there's still that manly figure, that overpowering figure. So, as a father and just as a person, I can understand where these women are coming from. It says that the women have filed a lawsuit and have claimed that Miss Langford has been visibly aroused in their company. And some of the sorority members told Megyn Kelly's podcast that residents felt uncomfortable and in constant fear in the house when she's present. One of the members, Hannah, told Kelly, "Men are never allowed on the second floor of our apartment from moving in and out." Well, men are never allowed on the second floor of our house apart from moving in or moving out. So it is only female space and not like living in dorms. We share just a couple of main bathrooms, but it's supposed to be a safe space for us to rest our head at night. Another member, Jalen, added, "All the bathrooms are shared spaces, and there are no private changing areas or locks. It's very open and vulnerable. So these girls should feel safe where they are." As stated more than once, there's no locks on the bathrooms. It's to them, it's as safe as possible. And I mean, if you got no locks on a bathroom, you got to feel pretty at home, right? And it even says right there, it's very open and vulnerable. And here are the women, sorority members, told Megyn Kelly's podcast residents felt uncomfortable and in constant fear when Artemis Langford was present. You know, it's a double-edged sword because we also have to think of Artemis's perspective. Um, Everyone has a right to do as they choose. If Artemis wants to transition, they have every right to do so. But he has no control and had no control of his body type, his body shape, his weight when he was born. So, you know, people that are bigger, you know, they still obviously have the same opportunity as everyone else to you know, go through a change, but that doesn't necessarily change their figure completely. You know, he might lose some mass, but he's still going to be 6'2", if that makes sense. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword because Artemis wants to change. He feels comfortable in the body he's in now, or maybe didn't before, and now, you know, he's taking the steps to feel comfortable in the body that he was born in, but he can't help his size. And maybe that alone is what is intimidating these sorority members. Who knows? It could very well be because he is much bigger, he's taller, right? And that just naturally might be intimidating. The lawsuit alleges that the fraternity council betrayed the central promise or purpose and mission of Kappa Kappa Gamma by conflating the experience of being a woman with the experience of men engaging in behavior generally associated with women. And, you know, again, everyone's got a right to be comfortable in their body. But again, if you're trying to game the system to your own benefit, then it should be exposed. It should not be allowed. And safeguards should be in place so, you know, situations like this, you know, prevent to happen further down the line into the future. The sorority had held a vote on whether Miss Langford should be admitted, but several members claimed that the president and membership chair of the chapter dismissed their concerns. The opponents of Miss Langford's admission were allegedly told by another member of the sorority, quote, regardless of what political views are, our Kappa views are accepted, and kindness is as if that is something that you agree with. That's not in line with Kappa values. The leadership of the sorority told members that if they did not have any issues with Langford, they can drop out. So they're basically saying, hey, if you have a problem, you can just leave. The women told the podcast that they understood that trans women need to be protected and have their own safe space, but argued that trans women such as Miss Langford moving into their home is not the answer, because now you're inflicting, you know, more strife amongst the group of people that are there. The majority of people feel uncomfortable. So even it's like I said, a double-edged sword. We do have to accommodate. And diversity, inclusion, and equality is important here. But once other people feel threatened or unsafe, we have to step back and figure out how can everyone feel included? How can everyone feel listened? How can everyone feel like they're protected? And I think that's really important. We can't just let this go. We can't just kick this person out of the sorority house without coming to constructive conclusion on situations like this. And I'm talking about within our society, not just within Kappa Kappa values, not within the university or locally. I'm talking about nationwide, countrywide. I'm talking about worldwide. There just needs to be a basis of ethics when it comes to these situations so that morals are upheld and people don't feel left out.